I was keeping a deep, dark, ugly secret from my girlfriend. The truth is that when we weren't together, I was secretly watching pornography videos, and the evidence was piling up against me. Sexual performance issues, low libido, a suspiciously large amount of used tissues in my wastebasket when I wasn't sick. This eventually reached a tipping point, and the truth had to come out. I decided to be honest and vulnerable with my girlfriend, and this is what happened. Now, before I bring you to that exact moment, I want to share about how to approach this conversation in a way that will bring you the most success. Step one is that you want to have this conversation at a time when your girlfriend has the space to have that conversation. Hopefully you've been dating for a while now, and you know her enough where you can tell when she's stressed, overwhelmed, and her nervous system's all flooded. At a time like that, do not drop this on her. She will not have the space and the patience to listen to you. You want to have an open, honest, vulnerable conversation here, and for that, you are going to want to pick a time when she is relaxed, regulated, and calm. Then she will have the patience and the attention to really deeply listen to you. Tip number 2 is to add a little bit of preamble to the conversation and also ask permission. You don't want to just bust in the door, honey, I'm home, I'm addicted to porn. You want to ask permission and set the stage for a really deep, vulnerable conversation. This looks something like this. Hey baby, I have something that's been really bothering me lately, and I was wondering if you have the space to have a conversation about that right now. This will allow her to lock in to that presence with you and understand, oh, this isn't just small talk. This isn't just talking about dinner. My partner wants to have a serious conversation about something right now. And the next thing you want to add is to set the stage for the conversation a little bit. This will go something like this. Yeah, this has just been really weighing me down, and honestly, I think it's been impacting our connection and our relationship. And what I really want is to feel more connected and close to you. And if we could just talk about this together and you could hear me out, I think it would really help us blossom together and become closer together. You don't need to use those exact words, but to ask permission before you just jump in, and then set the stage a little bit to get you both on the same team of, oh, we're about to have a serious conversation, and 2, this conversation is about us coming together as a couple, and if we go through this conversation together, we're going to have a better connection on the other side of it. This frames the conversation that you both are on a team here with the goal of improving the relationship, and it's not a me versus you sort of thing. Now, when you actually have this conversation, the important thing is to be totally honest and open and vulnerable with your girlfriend. There's going to be some things that you maybe want to hold back on, but in my experience, it really opens things up for you to be total. Share about how you feel about your pornography use and how you think it's impacting the relationship. Share about how young you were when you first started watching this stuff, and how many years have you been addicted and compulsively doing this behavior. Share about how you think that those years of compounding behavioral addiction has wired your brain, and how it is impacting your ability to really have an amazing, beautiful sexual connection because your brain is all programmed to think about pornography. These kind of vulnerable sharings will bring her in, make her curious, and understand where you're coming from. And I'm gonna share in a minute about exactly what happened when I had this conversation. But before I do that, I want to give one more bit of advice for how to run this conversation. After you share vulnerably and honestly, I will advise you that you need to be able to hold space for her reaction and her response. For many women, my girlfriend included, and many that I've seen telling their stories on the internet, hearing this message from their boyfriend or their husband hurts and brings up feelings of anger, betrayal, and jealousy. You, if you're going to step into this conversation, need to be ready to hold the space for that. Expect that she will have that reaction. Don't raise up your guard and say, "How dare you blame me and get angry at me, like I'm trying to share this with you." No. Take a deep breath. And after you've said what you wanted to say about your addiction and how you think it's impacting the relationship and maybe the changes you want to make going forward, give her the floor and say, "How do you feel having heard all of that? What are you thinking?" And whatever she says, you just breathe deeply. It's going to be uncomfortable. She might be hurt. She might say some words that really don't feel good and that make you realize the pain that is happening in this conversation. But I promise you, you're going to want to stick with it, breathe deep, and hold that space for her reaction. That's all the tips you need to have this conversation. And so now I'll share about how my conversation went. It started off just like I recommended, where I picked a time that my girlfriend had the space and the patience to discuss something, and I asked permission. I said, "Hey babe, can we sit down? I have something that's been bothering me and I really need to talk to you about it. I think that if we can have this conversation, it's really going to improve our relationship and our connection. Do you have the space for that right now?" She said yes, and then we were in it. I was nervous. I was scared. I didn't want her to view me as some pervert or weirdo or weakling. I had all these stories coming up, but I knew that if I was going to overcome this addiction and if our relationship was going to grow and become stronger, I needed to have this conversation. The next thing was I laid it all out there. I told her about how I've watched pornography since I was a young teenager. I told her about my experiences all through middle school and high school and college and the struggles I've had in my own experience. And then I shared about how I think this is impacting our relationship now. I told her I feel really ashamed of myself when I watch pornography, and at the same time I have this powerful compulsion to keep giving into this behavior. And I want to change, and I have wanted to change for some time. And at the same time, it has been really difficult for me to put this behavior behind myself completely. Then, when I got it all off my chest, I said everything I needed to say, I was quiet, and I left space for her reaction. As you might expect, she was feeling hurt and jealous and a little bit of, "Why do you have to watch that? Aren't I enough? Is there something wrong with me that you need to go get from that video that I don't have? Can I not please you enough?" And I gave space for all of that. Just let her share everything that's coming up. Don't jump in. I didn't jump in with anything defensive. And I said, "Thank you for sharing that. I hear you. I hear all of that. And I don't want you to feel this way. I promise to you that I am committed to changing this about myself. And it's not going to be easy. I might mess up and I might relapse and watch it again in the future, but I want you to know that I'm committed to making a change, and for the sake of my own growth, for the sake of our relationship and our connection, I'm going to make a change here." And ending on that note, that brought a bit of confidence, leadership, and also vulnerability into the space where we were able to come together as a team of, she knows more about me now. She understands where I'm coming from, and the struggles that I have had in my life, and we are gonna work together. She wants to support me in overcoming this addiction. Yes, it hurts her. Yes, it bothers her. She doesn't want me to do it, and she wants to support me changing. I want to change, so we're on the same side to get me to go and overcome my pornography addiction. And so by far, the results of this conversation was a depth of connection and trust with my girlfriend that I'd never had before. I've had relationships before, I've had friendships before, and never before have I really opened up, especially to a girlfriend, about my pornography addiction, how it affects me, how it affects our sex life, and how I want to change. And when I put all of that out there, and she didn't walk away, she didn't leave me, she didn't yell at me or nuke the relationship, I felt, oh, I'm safe here. She has listened to me, and we are going to work through this together. And I just shared my deepest, darkest secret, and she's still here with me. That is a level of safety, security, and certainty in a relationship that only unlocked more trust and more honesty with each other. In the following weeks, I noticed that she also was able to share more vulnerable things with me. And really, we were able to dig into each other. Like, these are my shadows. This is my yucky stuff that I'm ashamed of, and I'm gonna put it out here. And she reciprocally is doing the same. Here are my shadows. Are you going to see all of these ugly, nasty parts of me and still love and accept me? And every time we do that, we come closer and closer together. As for the pornography part of the equation, being open about this with my girlfriend actually empowered me to make huge strides in quitting pornography and getting off of it. There was some shameful, twisted element that was like, if I'm hiding this and keeping it to myself and no one knows, then that fed into it a bit. But when I put it out there and I shared everything about myself to her and she witnessed me, that pulled away the power of that part of me that was keeping it all tucked away inside. And so the result was that I was able to watch pornography much less, make huge strides, and I eventually relapsed, and then I'd make huge strides, I'd eventually relapsed, but that put me on a trajectory to really overcome this addiction, and I'm in a place now where I am off of pornography and I'm not going back. And a huge part of that journey has been sharing my pornography addiction. I hope this video has been very helpful for you. I cannot recommend highly enough that if you have an honest and trusting connection with your girlfriend, to have a conversation like this. It's gonna be scary, it's gonna be vulnerable, but it's gonna be worth it. If you want more support on your journey to quitting pornography, I have a free 5-step guide to help you quit watching pornography. You can click the link in the description and download that PDF for free. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.